Hello everyone and welcome to the Deepbluerenegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deepbluerenegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 86. Today is Sunday, May 3rd, 2013, and I'm really glad that you could join me today. I'm also glad to be back. Short answer was last weekend was way too busy to carve out some time to record, so I have lots to show you guys this week though. And it is absolutely gorgeous today. Apparently it was a record-breaking April, because it was the first April since 1975 or 8 that there had been no 90-degree days in North Texas. So, and at least for the time being, I don't think we're gonna hit 90 degrees. At least for the short-term future, I'm sure that'll change. Alright, so I suppose I can start with this. So this is my third attempt at making the Union Jack Argyle socks work. This is a pattern by Janice Talkington. It's from the Think Outside the Socks book. And it will be really charming if I can ever make it work. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So on this third try, I've now switched to 2.5mm needles, aka US 1.5. And I am a little bit into the first pattern repeat. I got to, I guess, 1.5 pattern repeats in last week. And then I had the Deer Suit Level 1 try it on, and it failed. For the second time. So I was knitting on US 1s, which are 2.25mm needles, and so, I don't know, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But this will be my third and final attempt on this, and now that I've wasted so much time doing this, what is it? This qualifies for the latest Sock Knitters Cal. So I am hosting a Cal right now in Sock Knitters. It is the Underappreciated Patterns Cal, and all you have to do is to knit a pair of socks, whips included, that has 50 projects or less. The Union Jack Argyle sock, I am number 19, so there's still plenty of room. And since I'm doing this now on the bigger needle, I can definitely tell that there is a gauge difference, so I'm hopeful that this will finally go. And I'm also doing something entirely new. I went to the local yarn shop yesterday, and actually I forgot to bring those out. Oh well, not a big deal. I think I have most of them down here anyways. I ended up picking up 3 sets of needles. So I picked up one US 0 2mm needle with a 9-inch cable. I'm knitting with a US 1.5 9-inch needle right now, which is why I have lots of markers. And then I also picked up a set of Haya sharps in the just one as double points. I found out I don't even know why this ended up coming about, but it was the case where I pulled out my trusty pair of US 1 double points that I always keep in my knitting bag. And just for a point of illustration, like that's about how hard it is to find these. And it turns out that these guys are actually zeros. So I was like doing whatever my whole early knitting career, just always knitting on zeros. So these are 7-inch needles. I actually got them from my grandmother-in-law when my mother-in-law and grandmother-in-law cleverly got me started on the path of knitting socks. And they are 2mm needles. They're actually a little bit shy of 2mm. So they are from somewhere in the vicinity of World War II. My grandmother-in-law knit all of the things for her children. or something like that. I don't know, whatever. She is 96 and still going strong, um, so this is the case for, what is it? So, I realized I didn't actually own a pair of size 1 2.25mm double points. So, and it's actually really interesting. My local yarn shop in Indiana didn't carry the sharps, but Holly's, which is my local yarn shop in Dallas, does, and oh my goodness, you can really tell the difference between the normal high-highs and the sharp high-highs. It is a thing of beauty. Are they signature sharp? No. Are they signature expensive? Hell no. So, in that regard, it's a win. And it turns out that all the people who I was hanging out knitting with yesterday were like, oh, we all do 9 inches. So, I'm getting used to it. What is it? Like, look at how puny. That is not even like 1.5 inches of needle right there. They are really, really short needles. So I'm still getting used to the appropriate grasping method. But what was it? I became obsessed with knitting when I started knitting hats. And so I have a strong suspicion that I will tremendously enjoy knitting 9-inch circulars once I get used to their V-ness and whatever, figure out where on the needle I'm supposed to hold it in order to knit the way I normally do. Because normally with a double point I'm sort of lever knitting with it a little bit. I'm manipulating the needle with my far pinky as opposed to manipulating it just with my pointer finger and thumb. So it is an adventure, that's for sure. We shall see how it goes. I am enjoying the sharpness of the high sharps. I was a little bit bummed they don't carry the Xiaogu as double points, and I don't think the Xiaogu even had the needle size I was looking for. It was okay. It was a little bit hilarious. It'd be like, okay, in terms of double points, we have 1s or 2s. But the 9-inch circ does have 1.5s, and so then I was like, oh, I should try that. And so I got the 0, I got the 1.5. We'll see how it goes. It'll be fun to try something with the 1s, or I probably will end up knitting the heel with the 1s. Because I didn't want to buy, what was it, size 1.5 bamboo needles. Because if you look at bamboo needles funny, they break. Not a fan. And certainly at sock sizes, I'm just not a fan of bamboo. So we shall see how that goes. And what is it? I actually have the 0 in my bag because I'm so close to casting on something new. So here is the something I'm so close to casting on. And there we go. Look at how cute and wee this is. So this is the size 0 circular. So cute and wee. So I was hoping at some point to get a chance to finally cast on this. This is Wool Mesa Twin in the Blue Suzanne colorway. I got this as a swap a while ago, and I have decided it's time to make myself some more Wool Mesa socks. So I'll probably end up doing a very simple pattern, and maybe that will also qualify for the Cal, because it turns out no other people are going to be making this. I think I count for half the projects on this pattern, so and they look really super cute. But I also wanted to do Jack's, and Jack's wouldn't count for the underappreciated pattern Cal, so we shall see. Or maybe I will hold judgment until I make sure that this fits over the Dear Sweet Loving Wool's heel, but the odds are good at this point. He could actually get it over his heel with the 1s, as opposed to the 0s. The 0s, there was no way. So hopefully with the 1.5s, that's just that little bit of extra ease, and then I can switch to a different size needle for the foot. Because he does have whatever, his stupid skinny chicken legs. But then the massive man heel, don't even understand. I sort of just want to start knitting on it, but this is the row where I actually have to pay attention, so we'll just leave it be. But, so I am very close to casting on something new because I finished something. Yay! So exciting. I actually finished several things, but I finally got a chance to go to the post office and I mailed them yesterday. So, I finished the gray cardigan. I even sewed on buttons this morning. It was super duper extra fancy. So, this is the gray cardigan. The pattern is by Sally Melville. I knit the medium size and got the size between small and medium, which was my intent. And let me find the appropriate level of buttoning. So, because you can button it all the way up, but I think it looks more cute, only partially buttoned. So this is from the book Mother Daughter Knits, and I am super duper excited with how it fits and how it looks on me. It just has, the perfect amount of taking in on it. So here, let me pull that down. So it really does, it's fitted, but the fitting is due to basically the ribbing and how the ribbing stretches and hooks your body. So it really is lovely in how it fits. And I'm super duper excited because it's a neutral color. I can wear it with tons of stuff at work because air conditioning season's coming, you know. And I am glad it all worked out. So ends are all woven in. That was what I was mostly doing at the yarn store yesterday, was just having some company while I finished hiding all the ends on this. And I am just very, very excited with how it ended up turning out. So, the buttons I ended up getting at the special button store a few weeks ago, and they are, they're gray, but they have, you know, that right sort of contrast to them, and they are definitely more of a silvery sort of gray. And then I sewed them on with white cotton thread because, what is it? His crazy Aunt Pearl convinced me many years ago that you should just, that the most secure way to fasten buttons onto a sweater was just using thread. So that is what I do. I would have preferred a 4-hole button instead of a 2 because you can really attach them very firmly with the 4 holes, but I think it ended up turning out really adorable. So I am so thrilled that A, it is done, because it was not done. Let me tell you, it was not done last week, which I think contributed to my lack of, podcast mojo. But, so cute. So I'm really excited with how it turned out, and I'm so excited to get to wear it finally, and it just is absolutely gorgeous. So would I have normally knit a gray cardigan? Probably not. Am I really happy with how it turned out? Absolutely. So, what is it? The only modification which I did and then managed to undo was I made the sleeves. Or wait, was it? No, it was more than that. I made 3 modifications. I made the sleeves the size small and then needed to make the sleeves bigger again because they were in fact too small. I made the arms 2 inches longer based on my measurements and the pattern called for, and I might have been able to get away with just 1 inch instead of 2 inches. And I made the shoulders 15 3/4 inches wide instead of 15 inches wide. So, because I guess I have broad shoulders. So I am super duper excited about that, which means that something is due to be put onto my needles soon, because I really, what is it? The socks are, strictly speaking, the only thing that, the socks alone probably aren't going to be the only thing I'm working on in the short term. I'm not sure if I need some sort of complicated lace project or not. Not with whatever the wool-micing yarn, so we'll see. If it turns out that the Union Jack Argyle socks totally fail for the third time, then I will be casting on something really simple and mindless and successful for socks. Okay, so I did also finish a very small spinning project. So this is a sample. It turned out to be 8.1 grams of Into the World in their merino bamboo silk, and this is in the Aurora Borealis colorway. And I just did something really simple. It turned out I got about 35 yards of a 2-ply. And pretty much I just sat down and spun this all in one sitting last night. I spun it on my Chuck Bennett spindle. And actually the Chuck Bennett spindle is currently being repaired. It turned out sometime like forever ago, the hook wasn't really all that well attached into the hook was not all that well attached into the shaft, so the Dear Sweet Lovable one and I super glued it back in today. And I'm using one of the Into the World tags so you can see what I wrote down there. Maybe, if the breeze wasn't shifting it. There we go. So this is Into the World. It is the merino bamboo silk. And I do have 4 ounces of this sitting, waiting upstairs, and I think it'll be quite a lot of fun. Excuse me, I was concerned about the bamboo, but I think that what the bamboo does is sort of makes it so the color is very variegated and subtle. And I really like how all of the colors in this work well together. So it's like some really bright greens, purples, and a little bit of blue. So it was a fun, sort of impulsive little thing, which I ended up doing last night instead of sewing on the buttons of my sweater. So that is the story there. So that'll be a lot of fun. I have no clue what I'm going to do with such a small amount of yarn. I think, what is it? I worked it out. So for 100 grams, it would have been 435 yards, so not really. So it is a light fingering, but I just have no clue what to do with it. So for the time being, it'll just hang out. What is it? Oh, I forgot to mention about the squares. So I knit, 3 squares. One of the groups I'm a part of is making a blanket for someone, and you take, somewhere between 12 to 18 grams of like leftover sock yarn, and you can make this cute little, 6 by 6 square. And so between all of us, we were trying to make a 42 or 49 square blanket, and so I made 3 this week because all of my projects were sort of in an awkward state. I couldn't work on the socks because the socks didn't fit, and I didn't have the right size needle, and I couldn't knit on the sweater because the sweater needed seaming, and that takes time and is something that probably needs to be done at home or at knitting. So then I was just sort of compulsively casting on and knitting these squares. So I made 3 of them. I ended up using balls of yarn which were a little bit too small, so then I combined colors and that sort of thing. The last square turned out to be all of 1 yarn. And they are on their way for the assembly team, so not too much I can do to do with that for the time being, but such is life. So, and I wrote a note for the recipient and all that other stuff, so it'll be really exciting when they receive it, and I will show pictures once it's out, because we're supposed to be keeping it sort of on the down low. If you're friends with me on Instagram, I did take pictures of the squares on Instagram if you want to check them out. Let's see. In terms, okay, so talked about the squares. So I made 3 of them. They go towards the total, and that's good. Okie doke. So, in terms of the camel silk spin, I did weigh it right before I started podcasting, and I am now to the halfway point. So I have slightly more than 2 ounces left to go of my brain. I'd be like, hello, silliness. Which means the other 2 ounces is apparently on my bobbin. So, and I put the wheel over here just because it is a pain to find the camel silk. So this is from Your Daily Fiber. I'm trying to figure out the best one. There we go. So this is from Your Daily Fiber. It is 50% camel, 50% silk. And my hands are actually like really rough right now, so it was a little bit challenging to actually work with the fiber. I was thinking it would be more challenging overall, but so far it hasn't been too bad. And it is still pretty fine. And it is, what is it? So it's coming along. At this point, not too much that I can really say about it aside from that. As of the last time, I think I said I've already spun about an ounce. Or I spun about an ounce in the last 2 weeks, and I haven't had a lot of spinning time. So most of that was probably in the more recent future. And there are other things that I would like to get on my wheel in the near future. So this is probably going to get a lot more love just for me to finish going through it. This was supposed to be my something special Cal project. So, obviously enough, I have been working on it for a while now. But it is going a lot more smoothly now that it's on the wheel. I'm using the smallest ratio on my regular flyer, and that seems to be the right balance between giving me enough time to draft, giving me enough time to draft within the context of like a normal treadling speed. So that seems to be working out fairly well. I just, whatever, I need to put some more time on. I was trying to spin last night on the porch after the sun had set, but I wasn't sitting in the place where I was protected by the fan from the mosquitoes, so I was sitting pretty close to the spot, and the fan is over there, and it was not quite giving me protection on me. What is it? My body was acting as a shadow. So that didn't end up working out so well. What will be going on to the wheel next is the Into the World Death Fiber. So I don't know if that's why I suddenly decided to spin a little bit of that. I could start breaking it up into, what is it? So what I want to do with it is to make a 3-ply sock yarn. It is superwash merino, and I think I just want it to be totally crazy pants with respect to colors, so I think I'm going to do a, what is it? What I want to do is a fractal. And basically like a 3-way fractal. So, so I could start playing with the fiber a little bit, or I could just keep spinning camel silk. The Discworld Mega Sale ends at the end of June, and I've also ended up having some stash positions this week, or they arrived at some point. And that is also another spin along, which ends at the end of June. So it's sort of like my spinning dance card is filled up for the time being. So I can show you. And I think I'm actually going to only spin one of these in the time frame. And actually, I just pulled this open. So this is Julie Spins. This is a 40% merino, or sorry, 60% merino, 40% Bombex silk. And this is the cherry blossom colorway, since the theme was for this one was what is it? Spring is here. So this looks like it's going to be absolutely gorgeous to spin. And this one here is, what is it? This one is Pansy, and it is also in the same fiber blend. So purples, magentas, and oranges at the center, and this is a gradient. And then this guy is dyed more randomly, and it is pinks and blacks, almost a sort of brown. And some people have actually already finished spinning it. I don't think that they're available in Julie's shop anymore. I sort of waited until the last possible moment to order them. Well, I was like hemming and hawing on whether or not I wanted to, but they were looking very gorgeous. So I was like, whatever. She might be offering another chance to order later on. This is the Completely Twisted and Arbitrary, spring spin along. So it started April 1st and is going on until the end of June. There are no prizes, so in that regard, I guess it's not like there's a super duper big hurry. And because they are very much so luxury blends, it would be the case where I'd be spinning lace weight, light fingering weight sorts of yarns in order to make something, some sort of shawl. And now the coffee's all gone. And I think I actually would do this pink guy first. So just take it out of the packaging. Julie Spins is a dyer I've never tried before, so I figured that that would be okay. I'm just trying to understand her packaging for a second. So there's also almost like a little bit of purpliness to this. Oh. This is saying plum blossom instead of cherry blossom, but whatever. What's really nice about her put up is that it's actually 5 ounces instead of 4. So I think that'll make it a lot easier in order to get, in order to get a good amount for spinning. And it is really, really gorgeous looking prep. So I am very excited to try this out. It was certainly, because of the 5 ounce put out, it sort of was, seemed to be more expensive on the surface than you would normally go for fiber, but part of that, I think, was just that, more costs more. And oh my goodness, this guy has just such beautiful blues in it. Alright, and then this colorway is Pansy. That was correct with respect to that. So, trying to get a little bit more out of my normal color palette, though it's sort of hard to go around with blues and purples. But I think that this will end up being a really fun gradient to spin. I'm not sure how I would spin this guy. I'm thinking, it might be nice to do sort of a matched 2-ply, so strip the guy in half and then let the colors fall where they may. Because I think, what is it? Because that can be actually a really gorgeous way to do a gradient as opposed to doing the a Navajo ply and keeping everything lined up. So, we shall see. The pink one I think can be done pretty much any way it wants because it's somewhat random. And so far the skeins have been of the Plum Blossom, the pink one, and so that has been really gorgeous, so I'm excited I decided to take part in it. Let's see. Any other things that I want to talk about? I should be able to record next week. Next week will be the 10th, by the power of math. Just to let you guys know, I will not be recording the weekend of the 17th. I'm going to be out of town, so as such, I'll just have to skip that episode. Let's see, any other things I want to talk about? I did finish carding another 2 ounces of the chocolate Shetland fleece, so I have 2 more bags to go. I'm probably not going to do that outside because it's sort of blustery today. But it's definitely getting close to the end there. I'm not sure. It's looking more and more like the chocolate Shetland fleece is going to be a Tour de Fleece project, and then just running through all of the bags then in sort of a concerted, intense spinning effort. Because whatever, I need to clear my wheel, and it seems like my wheel has a long queue at the moment. I still haven't fixed the Turkish spindle. I'm still looking for the other piece of it, and hopefully it's somewhere in the car. So that's probably going to be an afternoon task today, is searching through the car to figure out where the other piece is so we can glue it back on and get it rolling again. Let's see, what else? We'll see what it is that I end up casting on. I don't know. I might need a more complicated project, but I don't know. We shall see. Or maybe it's just the case where if I let myself focus on the socks and only the socks, that I will make some good progress on it. Hard to tell. Let's see. Any other things I wanted to talk about today? I don't know. So, I hope you guys all had a lovely week, and I'd like to thank you for spending some time to hang out with me. And I look forward to talking to you guys next week. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.